Los Angeles Rams versus Dallas Cowboys. Sunday night football at SoFi Stadium. Gosh, what a great matchup that's going to be. What a great game. And for both teams, they look to have a much better 2020 season than they did in 2019, as both teams severely underachieved to the goals that the media set out and the players themselves have set out, as both teams had great success in the NFC, going deep into the playoffs, as Dallas played the Rams in the divisional round of the playoffs, but they did end up losing, and obviously the Rams had one of the worst Super Bowls ever against the New England Patriots and lost that game. But for both teams in 2019, they had very, very bipolar seasons, as some games would be played extremely well, some games they would play extremely bad. One game offense would do well, one game the defense would do well, and it was very, very messy, which is what led to the 9-7 record and the 8-8 records, respectively. But in today's episode, we'll definitely be getting into what the Rams did well and what they did very bad, and what Dallas did well and what they did bad, as this game could have been very close, but it ended up being a Dallas blowout, as they completely stomped out the LA Rams. So let's get ready to take a look at this first play. Now, if we look at this very first play here, the Rams are in a bunch left formation with Higbee as the tight end, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, and Robert Woods as the receivers. As Woods is running a deep corner, Cooper Kupp's going to stay in block, and Tyler Higbee is going to do an angle or a flat route where he's going to come in and he's going to reverse pivot and then run to the outside, as Brandon Cooks runs a deep drag at about 10 yards. So if we look at this play here, man-to-man coverage, Goff completely has Brandon Cooks wide open and just misses the pass. He just completely misses it. Now, if we look at this angle, this other angle here, as Tyler Higbee motions over, Goff checks it, sees the defense, realizes it's man-to-man, as everyone shift over to be in front of their man on defense. Goff with the play action in the boot, and look at right here. He has him completely wide open. And yes, that defender is coming in his face, but Goff has to deliver that pass and be accurate. As you can see on the rest of this play, he just completely misses him, and that's how play one starts out for the Rams. Now, later in this opening drive for the Rams, they are back to this bunch set as they plan to run a zone run to the left, as all the linemen are zone blocking as they take major steps to the left, and whoever shows up in their area, that's who they have to block. That is the design of the scheme. As you can see, Tyler Higbee will not zone block to the left, but he will come across and pick up the defensive end left unblocked on the right side here. As you can see, Brandon Cooks will also be faking the jet sweep end around run on the backside of the offense. Now, as we let the play go here, you can see right here, Gurley has absolutely nowhere to run. He has not even hit the line of scrimmage yet. And as you can see, 3 linemen have already pretty much lost the battle and have let defenders get in Gurley's face, as this play was blown up completely by the defensive front of the Cowboys. And they do a great job beating linemen and getting to Gurley in the backfield. Later in the quarter for the Rams, they'll be running a play-action boot to the right, as Todd Gurley will fake the handoff and block to the left. Outside receiver on the left, Robert Woods, will be running a drag route. Outside receiver Josh Reynolds on the right will be running a corner. Cooper Kupp in the slot will actually be staying home to help block. And tight end Tyler Higbee will be running from the left all the way to the right to the flats, or an angle route, to kind of mirror Jared Goff on his rollout once he fakes it to Todd Gurley. Now, the important thing to note is that the defense here is in man coverage, and Jalen Smith is currently mirroring Tyler Higbee as that is his man. Now, if we go ahead and forward with this play here, he gets caught up in the run, which ends up leaving Tyler Higbee in the flats wide open for an easy completion for the LA Rams. Now, I really like that play because, look it, everyone's selling out to stop Todd Gurley. And if you can get people messing up assignments like that in the pass, in the pass game defensively, then it'll be tons of completions like that going forward in this 2020 matchup coming up week 1. Now, on this play later in the drive, the Rams will be running a zone run to the left in this tight formation. As you can see, Robert Woods is lined up behind the tight end on the right, and Cooper Kupp and Josh Reynolds are lined up very bunch-like on the left side, close to Andrew Whitworth, the left tackle here on the left. Now, everyone on the line is zone blocking to the left, which again, that means that all linemen are down blocking or going to the left, and whoever shows up in front of them, that's who they have to get. And the back, in this case Todd Gurley, has to be able to read the lineman, find the hole, and hit it and get going in a hurry. So now, if we run the play here, right here, look at this. The hole is there straight ahead, and this should 100% be at least an 8, 9, 10-yard gain on this run play. But unfortunately, the left guard and the right tackle for the Rams here cannot hold their block, as the 2 D linemen for the Dallas Cowboys do a great job fighting off those blocks and limiting this mega gain to nothing on this run play. Great job by Dallas, bad job by the Rams. Now, later in the same exact drive, the Rams are running a pretty cool play here, as they're going to run a play action to Gurley on the left, a play action to Cooper Kupp basically on the left as well. And they'll be throwing a tight end screen to Tyler Higbee. This is a very cool play design, as the defense here is in cover 2, meaning that the 2 safeties will be covering everything deep, the linebackers will be covering everything underneath, and the 2 corners will not be going deep, but they'll be instead staying in that general area where they're currently lined up on defense. So now back to the offense here. Jared Goff's going to motion Cooper Kupp, that's what that little squiggly line is, leading, going down to the middle of the screen. He's going to motion him like he's going to take the handoff on a jet sweep. So he's going to motion him down. Then he's going to fake the handoff to Todd Gurley. But not only are we going to fake the handoff to Todd Gurley, we're going to pull a guard. The right guard's going to pull meaning he's going to leave his spot on the right and go block somebody on the complete other side, which is his left, to fake out the linebackers that we're going to 100% run the ball. So what else is going to happen here is that all the receivers are going to go downfield and block, and the linemen on the right are going to hit the 2 D linemen right here on the bottom of the screen, let them go, and then go block anybody else downfield, as Tyler Higbee's going to do the same. He's going to block for a quick second and then let them go, and then Jared Goff's going to dump the ball to them, or to him, Tyler Higbee, which is a great play design here. As you can see, jet motion, boom, play action fake, and then look at that. Wide open, great game, cool play design, and hopefully the Rams will run some more of that in their week 1 matchup, as these linebackers and this defensive front for Dallas is very, very good, and you need to get them to get faked out, to buy into things that aren't actually happening, during a play, and to mislead them to create yards for the offense. That's what the Rams need to do, and stuff like this is very cool to see. Now, later in the same exact drive, the Rams will be running a pass play, as the Cowboys will be in man coverage with only Jalen Smith, the linebacker, in zone, and then the deep safety kind of just freelancing whatever he sees that he needs to help cover. He's going to run to that, as everybody else is in man-to-man coverage. Now, the Rams really do like this bunch formation, as they're in the bunch on the top of the screen. Todd Gurley will be running a short little curl, about 7 yards. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds in the middle of that bunch at the top of the triangle, however you want to look at it, will be running an in at about 12 to 10. Cooper Kupp will be doing a drag route across the field, going to the opposite sideline. Tight end Tyler Higbee will be blocking and then running to the flat. And Robert Woods will be running a deep corner. Now, in this play here, Jared Goff had Josh Reynolds for a second, but the pressure that Robert Quinn got on him threw off the timing on this play, as we look at it at this different angle here. Now, check it out right there. If All-Pro Andrew Worthy gets the block on Robert Quinn, for sure Jared Goff should complete that deep in route to Josh Reynolds. But because of the pressure, it throws off the timing. Goff has to leave the pocket, escape to his left. He tries to throw it late, but he throws a bad ball into the dirt. Well, I don't know if that was intentional, but it's a bad ball, incomplete. When he had Josh Reynolds, as you can see, Josh Reynolds look up at the screen like, damn it, I should have had that. And I agree. If better blocking would have happened, they probably complete that for a very good gain. Now, later in this first quarter here, after the Rams punt, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be running a read option to their right, or for us here looking at the screen, to the left of the field. Now, what everyone's doing here on the line is that everyone's going to be zone blocking to their left, or like I said, to the right side of our screen here. Now, the cool thing is about the read option, the thing that was very revolutionary and that people were like, wow, about back in the day, is that you would block everybody and you would leave the last defender on whatever side you were running that read option to completely lone, untouched. So for the Rams here, that player would be outside linebacker Clay Matthews. And what's happening here and what Dak Prescott needs to do, which is the whole key to this read option, the reading he needs to do is that if Clay Matthews is reading it and goes to try to tackle Ezekiel Elliott on this run play. Dak Prescott is not going to give the ball to Zeke, and he's going to keep it and run it to himself to the outside. Now, if Clay Matthews does the quote-unquote stay home, where he's not really rushing upfield, he's trying to look and see what's happening with the ball, where's it going to go. If he's indecisive and he stays home in that same general area he's lined up, Dak Prescott's going to give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Clay Matthews does kind of a solid job here as we let the play run. They leave him unblocked. He's reading. He's creeping in. Now, Clay's not close enough to dive and get the tackle on Ezekiel. Dak Prescott actually makes, the wrong decision on this read option, as he, like I said, Clay didn't crash down to Ezekiel to tackle him, so he should realistically give this ball to Zeke and let him run it. Dak instead decides to keep it himself and run, but unfortunately, Clay cannot make the tackle, and Dak makes a great play stiff-arming Clay and getting a big gain on this run. So again, Dak Prescott made the wrong decision, but Clay on his missed tackle cannot help, the Rams out and save the big run play. Now, later on the same drive for the Cowboys, they're going to be running a zone trap run play to the right side of the screen. Now, what that is for people who don't know what a trap, run play is basically you're going to let a defender on the D-line or whoever, outside linebacker, D-tackle, nose tackle, could be anybody. You're going to let them run free for a quick second unblocked. And whether it's a lineman or a fullback, they're going to try to block them from the opposite side of the field and try to hit them, while they're unbalanced, or they feel like, hey, I have a free shot at the quarterback or the running back. So it's not a head-to-head block like, me and you line up against each other face-to-face. It's usually a block that happens when, I'm running straight forward and you hit me on my left side or my right side shoulder, and I'm, not as balanced as I don't have my full base and my full power in my hips underneath me. So what happens here is that Dak Prescott motions Amari Cooper, which luckily for them, the Rams are playing man coverage, which lets the corner get away from that field. And right here, the fullback misses the block completely, as Aaron Donald is a defensive MVP and embarrasses a lot of great linemen and players in general. He misses the block, and Aaron Donald also misses the tackle on this play. As you can see, Ezekiel should have gotten absolutely nothing on that run play, but ends up getting about 7, 8, 9, 10 yards on that run play when it should have been nothing. As again, that is another missed tackle by the Rams, which could have been avoided if they just wrapped up and got, a firm grip on the Cowboys runner. Now, later in that same Cowboys drive, it's 3rd and 9, as the Rams defense will be running man-to-man coverage except the two safeties. Eric Weddle will be helping underneath in zone, and Taylor Rapp will be covering everything deep. But again, everybody else is in man-to-man coverage. Now, for the Cowboys on offense, Amari Cooper's running a streak. The slot receiver on the top of the screen will be running a deep in. Blake Jarwin, the tight end, will be running a post. Ezekiel Elliott will be running a short drag route going to the top of the screen or the right side of the field. And then Tavon Austin is running a comeback route at about 10 to 12 yards here. And let's see what happens. Now, if we pause it right there, we can see two things here. One, by the line of scrimmage, is that Dante Fowler basically gets held tackled, and that's a penalty. But right here is where they call the pass interference on Darius Williams. Him pass interfering with Tavon Austin, the receiver, running that comeback route. Which, if I look at the film here, you guys can be the judge, I don't see anything there. Which Dak Prescott throws an interception, by the way. Darius Williams plays this fantastic. And I just don't see where the pass interference call. So this is a huge, huge play. As we just do a quick replay for you guys on the hold. So Dante Fowler, the outside linebacker on the left, gets completely held and tackled, which is one penalty. As you can see right here, just gets tackled. Penalty there. But unfortunately, the camera angle here doesn't capture, the pass interference. But none of the Cowboys defenders on the sideline are clamoring for pass interference. I don't remember if Sean McVay called a timeout to challenge it, but an unfortunate situation for the Rams, as they could have caused a turnover when this game was still 0-0. Now, later in that same drive, after being saved by Darius Williams' pass interference on Dak Prescott's interception, the Cowboys will be running a pass play, and it goes as follows. Ezekiel Elliott will be running a short little curl out of the backfield, about 5 yards. He's going to turn around and then wait for Dak to throw the ball. Blake Jarwin is going to be running a short drag to the other side of the field, the right side or the top of the screen. Tavon Austin will be running a deep drag to the left side of the field. Michael Gallup's going to be running a streak And then Amari Cooper is going to be running a deep in route as he's lined up at the top of the screen. Now, the Rams here are running cover 3. Cover 3 meaning that there's going to be 3 people assigned to covering everything deep. On this play, Jalen Ramsey, the outside corner on the top of the screen, will be covering 1/3 of the field deep. Taylor Rapp, who's kind of lined up in the top middle of the screen, there is going to be covering everything deep. And then Marquis Christian, who's lined up fairly close to the line of scrimmage. He's the guy, 26, with the long hair at the bottom of the screen, kind of. He will be covering everything deep, with Darius Williams, the corner on the bottom, covering everything short. Corey Littleton's kind of lined up like he's going to blitz and try to rush the quarterback, but he's going to drop into coverage. And then Eric Weddle is going to help Corey Littleton underneath and go into the zone more close to the line of scrimmage. So if we let the play follows, Dak Prescott hike, and then the Rams get great pressure, but Dak Prescott finds a way to escape, and then boom, right there, Amari Cooper is wide open. Now here, this maybe could have been prevented if Eric Weddle wasn't in such a rush to get to his zone. I know that's kind of hard to say as you want to get to your zone ASAP, but if he probably didn't get there super early, he probably would have been able to see Amari Cooper was possibly going to be wide open and could have helped cover that better. But Dak Prescott makes a good throw. It's almost incomplete by the Jalen Ramsey tackle, but Amari Cooper has great hands, secures the ball on this play. Now, later in the Cowboys drive here, the Cowboys will be running a zone run to our right with all the linemen zone blocking to our right. Now, if we let the play go here, the Rams do a solid job, except one big thing right here. Clay Matthews is not, doing the typical run-stopping, action that you usually do as an outside defender, whether you're an outside linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle, whatever. If you're the last defender, you're always taught to squeeze when it's a run play. Now, for those of you who don't know what squeezing is, quote unquote, the term squeezing, if you're a defensive player, you have played football, you probably know, is that basically when it's a run play, you are taught to keep as close as you possibly can to the outside and do your best to keep that area intact, meaning don't get blocked. Kind of make sure that whoever's running the ball, in this case a running back, does not go to the outside of you. Now, Clay Matthews clearly thinks that Dak Prescott is possibly faking the handoff and he's going to run a boot to the outside of the left side of the screen. And Clay Matthews goes for that instead of squeezing and being close to the line of scrimmage to help out his guys make a tackle on Ezekiel Elliott. And unfortunately, if Clay Matthews was in the spot, Ezekiel probably gets tackled for maybe a couple yard gain max. Now, Clay Matthews is not in that spot squeezing, and Ezekiel sees that little opening, makes a great cut, makes a tackle, and now it's a big gain instead of when it really realistically should have been maybe a 2-yard gain tops. So later on this same Cowboys offensive drive, the Cowboys are going to do something pretty cool, which I think they're going to utilize a ton this 2020 season. So now, obviously, we all know that Ezekiel Elliott is the all-pro, very talented running back that is the workhorse for the Dallas Cowboys. But they do have a very, very good backup named Tony Pollard. So on this play, Tony Pollard is lined up in the slot on the right side of the screen. He is not pictured in this view currently, but Dak Prescott's going to motion him, going to give him the signal here, and he's going to line up in the backfield and receive a pitch. So Tony Pollard is going to be the main primary ball carrier with everybody else blocking. So the cool thing is that Ezekiel Elliott's going to be the fullback here, and is going to be the main lead blocker for Tony Pollard as he will find the first person, whoever shows up. In this case, it's going to be Taylor Rapp, the safety for the Rams. Tight end Jason Witten's going to down block on Clay Matthews. And the 3 linemen on the left, from the center to the tackle, are going to reach block. Reach block meaning they're going to shuffle step to the right since the run play is to the right. And they're going to shuffle step to be able to clear the edge for Tony Pollard, meaning that they're going to block and make sure nobody can get to that right side. So they're not going to down block. They're going to take a couple shuffle steps and be able to make sure they create like a mini wall. So Tony Pollard is running behind this wall on the offensive line so that he's, safely going to be able to get yards. That's what a reach block is. So here, as you can see, everything is blocked up perfectly. The Rams have no answer. Cool design, great run play. And the Rams just have no answer in the run game currently as they continue to miss tackles and get blocked. So now on this final play of this Cowboys drive here, the Cowboys are going to be running a pass play with Amari Cooper running a streak at the top of the screen, Jason Witten in the slot running a corner, Ezekiel Elliott running an angle or flat route out of the backfield, Blake Jarwin, the tight end, will be running a deep in, and then Michael Gallup, the receiver on the bottom, will be running a short drag route as the Rams are running man-to-man coverage with the 2 safeties, Taylor Rapp and Eric Weddle, running zone or helping out up top with whatever they see. As again, everyone else is in man-to-man coverage. And for the most part, everyone does a solid job except for Marquis Christian, who's currently in man-to-man coverage with Jason Witten. The bad thing for Marquis that he does here is that he just doesn't stay in his hip pocket, and he sticks too much to the outside. And boom, what a crazy catch by Jason Witten, as that ball was not thrown particularly well by Dak Prescott, as most great receivers are expected to make that catch since it was in the general area, but that easily could have been an incompletion. As we look at the other angle here, check this out. Jason Witten making a crazy catch. Look at this. Wow. That for sure, most other receivers do not make that grab, but old man Jason Witten makes that catch. Marquis Christian can't do anything about it, and he gets in the end zone. Wow. And the thing is, that could have been prevented if Marquis just would have stuck to his technique. He didn't get faked to the outside. He just would have stood in his hip pocket. But unfortunately, Jason Witten makes an insane catch and gets in the end zone. So after the Cowboys score the first points and the first touchdown of the game, the Rams get the ball back here and run a very, very cool screenplay to Josh Reynolds. So this is how it's going to go. Josh Reynolds is currently lined up on the right, but Jared Goff's going to give the foot action to let Josh know, go ahead and motion to the left. Jared Goff's going to fake to Todd Gurley to the left. The linemen on the left side are going to block for a quick second, let the lineman go, and Jared Goff is going to act like he's running a boot to the right. And the two receivers to the left, Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods, are going to run drag routes so that, the people in coverage are going to focus on them. So let's let the play go here. Motion. Josh Reynolds goes to the left. Play action, fake to Gurley. Jared Goff starts to roll, and then boom, right here. Everybody either has their eyes on Goff or the two receivers, Cooks and Woods. As you can see here, the linemen have let all these D linemen go on purpose as everybody gets ready to block, for Josh Reynolds on the screen pass to the left. As we let the play go, throws it, good pass, and then boom, right here. Check this out. Andrew Whitworth on the left does a great job blocking the corner, and now we have three linemen out to the left ready to help lead block for Josh Reynolds, as Josh Reynolds has a ton of space to be able to run freely, as this is a great play design, as everybody on defense for the Cowboys got caught up in the run and got caught up in Jared Goff rolling out to his right like it's a boot pass, and then boom, throw back to the left, and all the linemen are out there to help block for Josh Reynolds on the screen. Cool play design by Sean McVay, and the Rams for sure need to run this more in that week 1 matchup in a couple weeks against the Cowboys, as, again, great play design. So later in that same drive for the LA Rams, the Rams are running a boot play action pass to the right side of the field, with Brandon Cooks, the top receiver of the screen, running a deep corner. Bottom receiver Robert Woods running a deep drag. Slot receiver Cooper Kupp's actually going to stay home and help pass block. And then the key here on this play is tight end Tyler Higbee lined up on the right. He's going to pass block for a quick second and then release, let the guy go, and then run to the flats. But he's not going to run to the flat where he's going to keep running to the sideline until he has nowhere else to go. He's going to try and find a soft spot in the coverage where no one's paying attention to him so he can be wide open short. That's the key here. And the Cowboys are running man-to-man coverage, which is another key of why this play was such a huge gain for the Rams. Now, everyone does a pretty solid job for the most part, except later. So we're going to let this play run. Boom, fake the pitch. Goff rolls out, and then right here, check this out. Malcolm Smith, the linebacker who was in man-to-man coverage with tight end Tyler Higbee, completely lets him go, and then he says, oh, there's quarterback. I got to go hit him. With a D tackle, obviously looking at him. And then Jared Goff realistically could have hit Robert Woods here, as he has two defenders chasing him. And Jalen Smith obviously has his eyes on Cooper Kupp. But Malcolm Smith leaving his man to go try and sack Jared Goff to stop, a quarterback scramble, leaves Tyler Higbee wide open in the middle of the field, and an easy completion for Jared Goff, and a huge gain that almost is close to a touchdown. But again, ends up being a huge gain, which is key to this boot pass, is that Tyler Higbee, again, does a great job finding that soft spot in that coverage, and boom, completed. Big play. Big run by Tyler Higbee. Great play design. Good job, Rams. Now, in the final play for this Rams drive here, the Rams are back into that tight bunch, triangle formation, whatever you want to call it, at the bottom of the screen with tight end Tyler Higbee left alone at the top. So the route starting with the bottom, Brandon Cooks is running a short drag. Robert Woods in the middle of that bunch triangle is running a post. Cooper Kupp is running a drag a little bit deeper than Brandon Cooks. Todd Gurley's running to the flats or to the close to the goal line, and then Tyler Higbee's going to run a quick corner route. Now, the key here to why ends up being a touchdown for the Rams is what the Cowboys decided to do on defense. Right now, they're running a version of cover 3, And what's happening here is that the bottom corner is obviously going to cover the flats, the short stuff, with the safeties covering deep. Sean Lee and Jalen Smith are going to be covering everything in the middle, and Byron Jones on the top corner, on the top of the screen, is going to be covering everything deep. And now Malcolm Smith, the linebacker next to Sean Lee on the right, his responsibility is to cover the flat. There's no corner that's going to do it. He needs to get to the flat. So as we hike the ball here, Jared Goff does a great job. Boom, right here. He totally recognizes that Malcolm is not in a great position to be able to get to Todd Gurley in time to break up the pass or tackle him before it's a touchdown. Jared sees it. Great accurate pass. Great hands by Todd Gurley. Boom, touchdown Rams on that Cowboys miscue on the coverage. So after that Rams touchdown, it is now tied 7-7 in the early parts of the second quarter. Now here on this Cowboys zone run play to the left, all the linemen again are doing their zone block steps to the left, with tight end Blake Jarwin doing a reach block on outside linebacker on the right for the Rams, Samson Ebukam. So what ends up happening here is, as we let it play, is Ezekiel takes a handoff, and then right there, most backs would have gone straight for it after seeing the hole open up like that. But in this case, if Ezekiel took that, red arrow path with that first hole that's right in front of him, he most likely maybe gets a 3-yard gain because the linemen there are kind of blocking the defensive players for the Rams into that red arrow, hole and path that most backs would take. But Ezekiel, with the great vision and the great, footwork that he has, is able to see that if he cuts to the right and be able to, follow that wall that the Dallas, players have made for him to run behind, that he can probably have a bigger gain in that blue arrow path that you see on the screen. So he does that. Great cut, great vision. Boom. And then right here, Eric Weddle has to make that tackle. He has to make that tackle. So what ended up probably should have been maybe a 5-yard gain ends up being double that, probably 10-11 there. And again, that's another Rams miscue on a run play where they could have, stopped the damage from being so great if they just would have made tackles. That's another play for the Rams where they did not make a tackle. So later in that same drive, this is the beginning of where everything starts to go in the Cowboys' favor and everything starts to go not in the Rams' favor from this point going forward. But this is the first big play where things go awry for the Rams. Now here, the Cowboys are running a play-action pass. They're going to fake the run to Ezekiel. They're even going to pull the right guard, and they're going to fake a trap block so the linebackers and people get suckered in like it is a run play. And obviously the linemen are going to pass block. Blake Jarwin, the tight end at the top of the screen, is going to run an in route. Tavon Austin in the slot's going to run a deep drag. And then Amari Cooper at the bottom of the screen is going to run a quick little comeback about 5 to 7 yards. And the key here is that the Rams are in man-to-man coverage, as you can see. And Eric Weddle is the only player left free to roam in zone to help out wherever he sees fit. So as we let the play go here, right here, boom. Jason Witten completely does not block outside linebacker Dante Fowler. And right now, Dante is a very good outside linebacker who had 11.5 sacks in 2019. He is left free to get Dak Prescott. And as you can see in the other circle, Darius Williams is doing a great job in man-to-man coverage, sticking on Tavon Austin's hip pocket. Now, as we let the play go on here, right there, Dante Fowler right there in that other circle, he has to make that sack. He has to. Has to. And Dak Prescott, again, does a great job avoiding a sack, rolling out, and be able to keep the play alive. As you can see on the other circle, Darius Williams is still doing a great job sticking on Tavon Austin's hip pocket. But as we let the play go a little bit more, boom, right there, that's where the madness and the bad luck for the Rams start. So because Taylor Rapp was not on Blake Jarwin's hip pocket super tight, unfortunately, Darius Williams and Taylor Rapp run into each other while they're playing their man-to-man coverage, which ultimately ends up leaving Tavon Austin wide open for an easy walk-in touchdown. So at first it starts with Dante Fowler not getting the sack while he was left free on quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak does a great job getting away, finding Tavon Austin after, unfortunately, Darius Williams and Taylor Rapp just collide into each other, as Taylor Rapp probably could have played that better to not let that happen. As boom, you can see right there, he was just a little bit too off, and then Tavon Austin wide open for the touchdown. It's just bad luck for the Rams. So at this point in the second quarter, it is now 14-7, with the Cowboys having the lead here. And the Rams are again going to run a play-action boot to the right. Another cool play design, as Robert Woods is going to be motioned in the jet sweep fake to the bottom of the screen. Todd Gurley is going to fake the handoff to the left. Brandon Cooks is going to be running a deep drag, and then Cooper Kupp's going to be running a deep corner with, again, Tyler Higbee doing that same block and release and finding that soft spot in the coverage that they had a big gain earlier in the game. And on defense for the Cowboys, they'll be running a cover 3 with the corner on a blitz, the outside corner at the top of the screen running a blitz. So what that is that the safety in the middle of the field is going to be running to cover that short, zone area near the line of scrimmage on the top of the screen, with one corner going deep, another safety going deep, the other outside corner covering deep, and then Sean Lee's going to run all the way down to the bottom of the screen to cover the flats in the right, with Jalen Smith, the middle linebacker, covering the middle of the field there. And again, the corner is blitzing on this play. So if we let the play go here, motion, fake the jet sweep, fake the run, boom, roll out, and then we pause it right here. You can see that Brandon Cooks is as wide open as you can be in the NFL, as everyone pretty much bites on that play action jet and the play action run, which ultimately leaves Brandon Cooks wide open running that deep drag route. But unfortunately for the Rams, Goff doesn't throw a particularly good ball on this, as Brandon Cooks should have caught this. But if Jared Goff throws a better ball and leads Brandon Cooks a little bit better, this is a completed pass, and Brandon Cooks is probably still running. Now, as we look at it on this different angle here, play action fake, boom, and then look at this. If he throws a better ball, Brandon Cooks probably catches that and keeps running. But yes, Brandon Cooks should have caught in that pass. But if Jared throws a better ball, that's an easy completion and a great gain. That's another Rams miscue on offense. So a couple plays later in that same Rams offensive drive, the Rams will be running a pass play with only 3 receivers, as a lot of times in this game, they were keeping Cooper Kupp to help block. But in my case, I would say he's more valuable as a receiver than him just staying home and pass blocking all the time. But it was obviously a credit to Dallas, as they were getting home and getting pressure a ton in this game so far, through the quarter and a half. So Cooper Kupp stays home right there in the slot in the bottom of the screen. Brandon Cooks on the bottom is going to be running a little window, curl route, where he's going to get, try to get behind the linebackers and find that open lane for Jared Goff to throw there. Tyler Higbee's going to be running an out, and then Robert Woods at the top is going to be running a deep corner route. Now, on defense for the Cowboys here, they're going to be running cover 4. Cover 4, meaning that there's going to be 4 people who are going to have to cover deep. Everybody else will be underneath deep as well. So the 2 outside corners are playing off the receivers very far, as it is third and long, third and about 13 right now. They're going to be dropping deep. The 2 safeties will be covering everything deep. The linebackers will be dropping deep as well for everything underneath. There'll be 3 D linemen rushing, and then they're going to send one of the corners to blitz, so there will be 4 people trying to get to the quarterback here. Now, what is key here as we let the play go is that everybody drops deep for Dallas, which leaves Tyler Higbee pretty open on that outside out route. Now here, boom, we pause it. Unfortunately, Goff does not throw a particularly good pass. He throws it very high. Tyler Higbee is still able to grab it, and he has to, tiptoe, sideline, get his feet in bounds. And if Goff were to throw this ball in the chest of Higbee, there's a high chance that he fights for that first down and possibly even gets it to keep the drive alive. As you can see, the outside corner that was dropping very deep in that cover 4 is very far away from Tyler Higbee. But again, unfortunately, Tyler Higbee had to do what he could to even get the pass completed, as he had to catch it high and then tiptoe at the sideline. So another bad throw by Goff, which kills his drive, and they end up having to punt right after this on this 3rd and long. So here on this next drive where the Cowboys get the ball back after some Rams miscues on the previous drive, the Cowboys are in a 3rd and long situation backed up into their own end zone. And the Cowboys decided to run a pass play as Ezekiel Elliott's going to be running a swing route out of the backfield. Amari Cooper at the top of the screen is going to be running a streak. Blake Jarwin, the tight end, is going to be running a quick out. Tavon Austin in the middle of that bunch is going to be running an in, and then Michael Gallup's going to be running a corner here. Now, on the Rams side of things, they're going to be running man-to-man coverage with Eric Weddle, the safety, being left to be able to free roam and cover whoever he sees fit. Now, the problem is here as we let this play go is, again, Taylor Rapp is getting caught up right there in his man-to-man coverage use, and he's running into people again for the second time in this game that allows a big play to happen, as Blake Jarwin was his man that he was assigned to on that play, which ultimately leaves Blake Jarwin wide open. Easy completion. He gets the first down, and the drive stays alive on that 3rd down situation. And it's another Rams mistake on defense where another bust in coverage allows the Cowboys to keep their drives going, when ultimately if they would have played a little bit tighter in coverage, these things wouldn't happen, and they would be able to get off the field to give the ball back to their offense in a tight game. Now, a couple plays later on this same Cowboys drive, the Cowboys have Tony Pollard in the backfield, who's a little bit more quick and a little bit more agile and more jukey than Ezekiel Elliott's more downhill running style, which is perfect for this sweep run play they're going to run to the right here. And if some of you are familiar with old NFL films and the old 60s footage of the Green Bay Packers, there was a play where Vince Lombardi, the head coach of the Packers during that time, made a famous video about the Packers sweep, how basically it was the 2 guards that would pull to either the left or the right and be lead blockers while everybody else down block, and you'd be like, you'd seal an alley here and seal an alley there and run up the gut. Yeah, that famous little line. The Cowboys are going to run their own version of that. Instead of pulling both guards left and right, they're going to pull the right guard and the right tackle. And again, pulling meaning they're going to leave their spot they're currently at and go somewhere else to go block. That's what pulling means in lineman terms. So what's going to happen is the tight end's going to down block, the center's going to reach, and everybody else is going to down block to the left with the right guard and the right tackle, pulling to lead block for Tony Pollard in the right here. So as we let this play go, boom, handoff, and then right here, Clay Matthews has to make this tackle as he's pretty much wrapped him up. This would ultimately be, a 3-yard gain, as the right tackle that pulled did a poor job blocking Clay Matthews on the outside there. But Clay Matthews cannot make the tackle here. Another missed tackle by the LA Rams and another miscue on their side on defense, which allows Tony Pollard to escape and get, 15, 20 yards, 25 yards, instead of maybe like 3 or 4 tops that he would have normally got if Clay made the tackle. So later in that same drive for the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys are under center here in the spread formation, as they saw what the Rams are doing with that tight end boot, the block, and then release into the flats and just get open. Well, they said, hey, we can do that too. So on this play here, they're going to fake the run to Tony Pollard on the right. Everyone's going to zone block, which kind of sells the run and the fake. And then Blake Jarwin here is going to do that same block and the release that the Rams tight end Tyler Higbee was doing early in their game. Now, the key to this is that the Rams defense is playing man-to-man coverage, and right now Taylor Rapp, the safety, is in man-to-man coverage and is locked up, or is supposed to be guarding Blake Jarwin here. But unfortunately for him, as we let this play go, he gets caught up in the run, and then boom, right there, too late. Blake Jarwin gets free, completely free. Taylor Rapp bites on the run fake, which leaves Blake Jarwin open in the flats. Easy completion for Dak Prescott, and another slip up by the Rams defense, allowing big completions when, if they did their jobs, those things could probably be stopped. So on this final play of this Cowboys drive here, you can see that the Cowboys are in a goal line formation. All tight ends, all running backs. Ezekiel, there's a fullback in front of him in a 3-point stance. Tight end on the left, Jason Witten. Tight end on the right, on the farthest right, Blake Jarwin. And then the traditional tight end spot next to that right tackle there is another lineman. That is not a traditional tight end there. So you can do that if you want to, smash the football in bigger bodies to help block people for short lines, short goal line situations like this here. So what's going to happen is that the Cowboys are going to run a dive play right up the gut on the right side, away from Aaron Donald on the left, which is a smart idea on the Cowboys side. So what's going to happen here is that Jason Witten on the left is going to down block or just zone block whoever is there in front of him. The left tackle and the left guard are going to double team Aaron Donald. The center is just going to go one-on-one with the nose tackle Greg Gaines. And then the right tackle and the right guard are going to double team Sebastian Joseph-Day, with the fullback lead blocking right in between the center and the right guard. And Ezekiel just following him and just find a hole, hit it, get the ball in the end zone. So what's going to happen here is, ready, set, hike, and then right there, Sebastian Joseph-Day does a great job beating the double team, and he has a chance to make this tackle, but the fullback does a great job picking him up instead of the middle linebacker there, which allows Ezekiel Elliott to get in the end zone, as Troy Reeder, the middle linebacker for the Rams right there, number 51, does not do a good enough job filling that gap to be able to have a chance to stop Ezekiel from breaking the goal line. So now you're looking at a Rams team that is down 21-7 before halftime. And things are not looking good, as things that they could have done better on offense and especially on defense, making tackles, sticking to their man, could have prevented this, and it probably would still be a 7-7 game at this point. So on the very next possession for the LA Rams after the Cowboys score that touchdown, the Rams decide to run a pass play here, as Brandon Cooks is running a streak, Todd Gurley is running a swing route, Robert Woods is going to run a drag, Tyler Higbee is going to run an in, and then Cooper Kupp is going to run a very short drag underneath there, as the Cowboys here are in man-to-man coverage, as they've been doing all game, pretty much for the most part. As you can see, the safety there will be left to free roam as usual, and then Jalen Smith will be left to free roam and help wherever he sees fit as well. Since the man-to-man coverage the Cowboys have been running has been doing a great job, and the times where they have let up, Jared Goff has not been able to complete passes on them, so they continue to do that. Now, as we let this play roll here, Jared Goff does a great job as he finds, Robert Woods on this deep drag route and completes a tough pass. Robert Woods makes a very, very tough catch. But unfortunately on this drive, Andrew Whitworth, the left tackle who's on the right side of the screen right now, completely holds Robert Quinn and pretty much drags him to the ground, which nullifies that 15, 16-yard gain there, as you can see right here. Unfortunate, because Jared Goff does make a good throw. Great catch by Robert Woods, but it nullifies that catch. Another mistake by the LA Rams here. So the very next play after the Andrew Whitworth hold on a big Goff to Woods completion, the Rams decide to pass again with these routes. Cooper Kupp at the very bottom of the screen running a deep out. Brandon Cooks next to him in the slot will be running a quick out underneath Cooper Kupp. Todd Gurley will be running a swing route. Tyler Higbee at the tight end spot on the right side on the top of the screen will be running a quick curl or a stop, whatever you want to call it. And then Robert Woods at the top of the screen will be running a post route. Now, in this coverage right here that the Cowboys are running, they're kind of running, I guess you would call it cover two, but cover two off. They're not usually pressed up on the receivers right now. As you can tell, they are playing very much off, as they know that the Rams have to air it out and they have to score quickly to put points on the board. Now, the two safeties are obviously bailing deep, as the two outside corners are not necessarily going all the way deep like where the safeties would, like you normally would see in cover 3 or cover 4, but they are covering deep enough, but not where the safeties would be. As you can see, the linebackers are dropping to their respective zones, including the slot corner here. So what ends up happening is that Goff just makes a very, very bad decision. He sees that post and says, I got to get it to Robert Woods, looks back, throws it, and then completely throws it into double coverage. Now, on this play here, if he would have waited, he would have had Todd Gurley wide open in the swing route. Even Brandon Cooks was left alone there. Easy completions there, but he had to try and force that skinny post, as that skinny post off play action or just even after a 3 or 5 step drop is something the Rams like to do and got away with a ton in 2019, 2018, and in 2017. But of course, after your film study, the two linebackers, Jalen Smith and Sean Lee, who makes the crazy interception right here and a great grab, know that, hey, Goff is always looking. That's his first read. And if he thinks it's there, he's going to throw it. So And unfortunately, he thought it was there, but it wasn't there. He forces it because they're down right now. And then Sean Lee makes a great play, gets the pick. And now the Cowboys have the ball in Rams territory as Sean Lee returns this interception pretty dang far within the 20-yard line, almost to the 10, or even past the 10, actually. As we'll look at it from this other angle here, from, more of the quarterback angle, and see what happened here. As you can see, Goff snaps the ball, takes it, and he just forces that. Sean Lee obviously got the interception, but Jalen Smith probably would have got his hands on it and maybe even intercepted himself if Sean Lee did not grab that. So that was completely not wide open. And Goff just making another bad decision and with another bad throw, which puts the Cowboys in the hole, already down 21-7, with the Cowboys now having the ball within their own 10-yard line, ready to punch it in. Bad offense by the Rams. So a couple plays after the Sean Lee interception here, the Cowboys are in shotgun formation, and they're just going to be running a zone run to the right. As you can see, Aaron Donald is no longer on the left side of the screen. He's now lined up on the right side to kind of help out, as the Cowboys have been purposely attacking that right side away from Aaron Donald. But again, on this play, he is lined up on the right. But the Cowboys say, it doesn't matter. We've been bullying your D-line as a whole and your front seven as a whole all day so far in 2 quarters. We're going to keep pounding the rock. So what happens here is that all linemen do their regular zone blocking to the right, as the left tackle and the left tight end do their reach blocks. Now, as we hike the ball here, Ezekiel gets it, and Eric Whittle has a chance to stop this for maybe a couple yard gain. Now, he does not make the tackle here, and it's another missed tackle by the Rams defense, which could have stopped a big play or a touchdown from happening. But Ezekiel breaks it, and then boom, gets in the end zone. Easy touchdown. Now the Rams are down 28-7 before halftime. It is a blowout through only 2 quarters after the Rams have made tons of mistakes on defense and tons of mistakes on offense through only 2 quarters. So we finally start the third quarter. After Cowboys go 3 and out, the Rams get the ball back with about 11 minutes left in the third here on this particular drive. As the Rams do decide to pass here, with Robert Woods running a streak at the bottom, Tyler Higbee running a streak at the tight end spot towards the bottom in the slot, Todd Gurley, the running back, running a little curl route or a little window route behind the linebackers, Cooper Kupp running a post, and then Brandon Cooks running a comeback at about 10 yards there. So what ends up happening here is that on defense for the Dallas Cowboys, they do something very interesting. They play man-to-man on the left side, but on the right side they're running what looks like cover 3, with obviously the other half not doing the same. But Robert Woods is locked up, Tyler Higbee is locked up in man-to-man, with Sean Lee and Jalen Smith dropping into the normal spots they would in cover 3, the safety dropping deep to the middle, and then the corner also dropping all the way deep, with the other linebacker or nickelback dropping into that deep third area like you normally would in cover 3 at the top of the screen as well. But as you can see here, as we snap the play, Jared Goff has Tyler Higbee right there. If he throws that to his outside shoulder there's a high chance that Tyler Higbee brings that in there. And if you look on the other side of the field, if he did not go to Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp was going to be wide open on that post there too, as the safety probably wouldn't get there in time to break up the pass, but maybe he makes the tackle. But it's at least for sure a completion to Cooper Kupp on that other circle at the top of the screen. But Jared obviously chooses to throw to Higbee, but he throws a bad ball. He throws it way underneath Tyler Higbee, when it ends up being a completion and almost an interception. But you can see Tyler Higbee there, as we look at this other angle from the quarterback perspective, or the video game perspective I like to call it. He just completely just throws a duck. Boom. As you can see, Tyler Higbee just like, I should have had that. And that's another Rams miscue on offense, which could have been a big completion that would have helped, change the game for them. So right after the Goff to Higbee incompletion, which could have been a big play, the Cowboys finally decide, hey, we're bringing the heat. We're going to blitz. We're going to do an interesting stunt here. And for those of you who don't know what a stunt is in defensive terminology, is basically usually D linemen run, straight ahead when they pass rush or try to get to the quarterback or stop the run. But a stunt means that D linemen are going to go in different positions from where they normally go to. So as you can see here, Robert Quinn, the left defensive end, is not going to go straight ahead. He's going to wrap all the way around and go in between the left guard and the center. Now, the nose tackle, who's lined up in between that left guard and center, is not going to go straight ahead. He's going to go around to the right side of the guard, or our right side of the guard. And you can see Sean Lee's lined up like he's going to blitz as well on the left. So as we let this play go here, and then right here, the Rams offensive line cannot hold up as they get completely confused on the stunt, leading 1, 2, 3 people pretty close to Goff. 2 of them for sure probably going to hit him or sack him at this very moment. And the Rams, that's just been the story of the Rams offense today. When things were going right, they couldn't hit it. And then when things went wrong, especially up front, Goff had no chance to pass today. And when he did have a chance to pass, he just couldn't hit that. And that was just the story of this game. So at this point, late into the third quarter, the Rams are down 31-7 after a successful field goal by the Dallas Cowboys after they worked with a very, very short field. The Rams decide, hey, we got to keep airing this thing out. So what ends up happening here is that at the top of the screen, Tyler Higbee running a streak, Cooper Kupp running a hitch, like he's going to catch a screen. He's not going downfield. He's just going to turn around immediately. Brandon Cooks running like a corner post, but he doesn't sell the corner too crazy, but obviously he comes back in for that post. Todd Gurley's going to be running like a wheel route, which is basically not a swing, but he's going to be running like a streak from the outside. He's going to try to hug the sideline, and then Robert Woods is going to be running a deep out. The Cowboys here are playing man-to-man coverage with the same situation they've been doing all day. That's been working for them. Man-to-man with Jalen roaming free underneath, and then their safety roaming free up top. So what's going to happen here is that the corner loses Todd Gurley, and he's wide open right here, completely wide open. And if Goff just throws a decent ball, Todd Gurley catches it, this is most likely a touchdown possibly. If not a touchdown, he's inside the 10-yard line for sure. But unfortunately, Goff throws a bad ball. Todd Gurley has to dive for it, and Todd Gurley probably should have caught it, but he doesn't, and it's an incomplete pass. As we look at it on this different angle here, you can see that Goff just delivers a bad pass. Just play catch like you're playing in the backyard with your friends, and then Todd Gurley's off and running, but no, he throws a ball into the dirt. Todd Gurley tries to dive and get it, and he can't. It's another bad throw by Goff, and another, drop pass by a Rams receiver or running back. It's just too many miscues for the Rams today. They did not show up ready to play, and they got their butts kicked for the most part. So after the Goff to Gurley miss on the incomplete pass there, the Cowboys got the ball back with a very short field and ended up kicking one more field goal, resulting to a 34-7 lead at the start of the fourth quarter. And by that time, all Cowboys offensive starters were done for the day. So this is the last drive that the Rams offense faced against the Rams starting defense before they were done for the entire day. And they said, hey, let's send Goff away with a little present here on this stunt that we're going to run. So as you can see here, stunts, they did not run a ton this game, but when they did, they worked at great success as the Rams O-line was not doing a good job picking up the stunts and then the blitzing people from wherever they were coming from, usually from the linebackers. But on this play, as you can see, there's a corner that's not shown on the screen on the far right as he's going to be coming in on a blitz. Robert Quinn's going to do his stunt where he's going to come in between the center and the right guard as the D tackle is going to rush to the outside, and the left D tackle is going to rush straight up like normal. But then the interesting thing is that Todd Gurley's not in the backfield to help pass block. He's lined up as a receiver. But DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be in man-to-man coverage with Todd Gurley, as Todd Gurley didn't even run a complicated route. He just ran a little, 5-yard turnaround hook, curl, whatever you want to call it. So unfortunately for Goff, the Rams O-line does not see this, does not pick it up very well. And as you can see here, as the play gets ready to go, the line, boom, right there. By the time that guard realizes that the corner 27 is coming in on a blitz, it's too late. He's not going to be able to get his hands on him in time to get him away from Goff. And boom, there's the sack. And that pretty much finishes out the Cowboys starting defense as they were done after this series. Now, at that point in the game, all Cowboys starters were done, offense, defense. It was all backup players. And the Rams starters obviously stayed in because they did not perform well and they were going to finish it out. The Rams offense did end up scoring a couple touchdowns against the backups, but hey, I don't think that's worth showing on film. There was nothing complicated the Cowboys are doing. There was nothing crazy the Rams are doing. It was just against backups who aren't as good as the first string starters that the Cowboys had in this game. And it's not like the Rams were just bullied all day. They just missed on assignments, missed on throws. It was the little things that could have kept them in the game. Completions when they were there to be had on a lot of the boot passes. Goff just missed on way too many passes on this game for them, to have a chance to win. And on defense, there was just way too many mental errors by defensive players, whether it would be in the run game, people not keeping their gap, whether it was not making a sack, not making a tackle when it was there, blowing assignments in man-to-man coverage. Taylor Rapp had a rough day. Clay Matthews had a rough day. I mean, the entire defense had a rough day, but those two definitely did not play their best, which led to a lot of big plays for the Cowboys offense. And then, again, Rams offensively, just missing passes by Jared Goff. If he hits all those passes, who knows? We probably have a close game, maybe a 14-14, 21-21 game. Who knows? Obviously, that didn't happen, and you end up getting a blowout like you're here watching today. So what can the Rams do to not have the same outcome in 2020 week 1? Well, number one is complete passes. Jared Goff's got to play much better, as this was probably his worst game of the 2019 season, and just complete those passes. There was plenty of completions to be had on bootlegs, and many of the drop back passes he just missed on them. And to keep the bootlegs happening, as the Cowboys defensive front, at least for 2019, and most of the same personnel will be returning for 2020, is that when you do heavy play action and boots, they for sure over pursue, and then which leaves people wide open, as you saw in this game. Now, a lot of the screen game would work as well, as that same concept applies. Over aggressive on the play action leaves people wide open in the screen game and in that bootleg game. So I expect a lot of Sean McVay's play calling to be around that bootleg game going forward. And if Goff can hit those passes and make those easy completions, then the Rams have a chance offensively, no doubt. Now, another thing too, Rams offensively, they have to be able to communicate better on the O-line and pick up those stunts. If they can't pick up those stunts, they're in for a world of trouble, as obviously the Cowboys are very talented, have a great, very, very deep front seven, and they can, as you've seen today, have very exotic blitzes from linebackers, corners, and other positions on that defense. Defensively for the Rams, they just had to play more sound technique in their game. It was very simple things that could have resulted in a less, score against them, or less of a blowout, however you want to look at it, is that, hey, making tackles when they were there, getting to the quarterback when you have a chance to wrap him up and throw him down for a sack. A lot of missed tackles, a lot of missed sacks, and a lot of blown assignments, and especially man-to-man coverage, as unfortunately Taylor Rapp had a very off day, and it was a lot of his plays he did not make in man-to-man coverage that allowed mega chunks and passing yards for the Cowboys, whether it be him getting suckered in the run game, or him just running into people multiple times in man-to-man coverage as well. So those two things are pretty simple. Just be more sound with your technique, be more sound with your tackling, and then who knows, this game, probably wouldn't have been such a blowout. Probably would have been fairly close, even if the Rams lost. For the Cowboys to win this game offensively, keep feeding Zeke, and with the addition of CeeDee Lamb to Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and tight end Blake Jarwin, this team I expect to put up a crazy amount of points in the future in 2020 and possibly beyond if they all stay together. And with the Rams not showing a great ability to play man-to-man coverage, I would try to exploit that a ton as the Cowboys, play caller if I were him. I would basically say, hey, get CeeDee Lamb on the second or third best corner, because Jalen Ramsey did do a great job against Amari Cooper this game. But obviously not everybody is Jalen Ramsey that could lock up a receiver like that, and CeeDee Lamb is obviously going to cause problems along with Michael Gallup. So if I'm the Cowboys, I would try to get CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup on the lowest ranked corner possible, and then also Blake Jarwin, who's shown, get him mixed matched up with the tight end, possibly Taylor Rapp, as he's probably the weakest link in the secondary at this moment. Now defensively for the Cowboys. I would try to just keep bringing pressure to Goff, as Goff has shown historically that a lot of pressure in his face, he gets flustered and things don't go right. So more stunts, more exotic blitzes, and more man-to-man coverage, as you might give some up, but most of the time if you do send people home, you'll get to Goff, the line won't block, and he'll get flustered. Either you'll get to him and sack him, or he'll throw an incompletion. So that's what I would do if I were the Cowboys to win that Week 1 matchup. But I am still very excited for this matchup Week 1 Sunday night, as this ushers in a new era at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood for the Rams. Sean McVay tries to, prove to the haters that, hey, I still am a good offensive coordinator and still a good offensive coach, with new coordinators on offense, defense, and special teams for the Rams. And for the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy comes in to prove, to Dallas Cowboys fans, Jerry Jones, and the rest of the NFL that, hey, I'm still a damn good head coach and I still can lead a team, a very talented team, to the championship, to the Super Bowl. So very excited. I will definitely be doing a film breakdown for that matchup Week 1 in Los Angeles. So thanks guys for listening. I'll be doing tons and tons of more film breakdowns of the NFL as this 2020 season gets kickstarted. I'm very excited. I'm very happy that a season is happening for me and for everyone else, so I can be able to do these extensive breakdowns for you guys, kind of show you what the heck's happening outside of just the basic TV coverage that we all watch. So thanks again guys, hope you enjoyed it. Be safe. Happy NFL season coming up 2020.